Okay, alrighty, right. Welcome to Speed of Cheese Racing. Speed o' Cheese. So, I haven't made a video in a while. We had a lot going on. The BMW Alpha bike went into the Haas Museum in Dallas, that has the electric bike in it. So, I was very honored that Mr. Haas, wanted that in his incredible museum. If you get a chance, I know I've said this before, get a chance and you're in Dallas, go see this museum. It's unbelievable. It's so cool. He's got such an awesome collection. Not only the vintage, the real historic stuff, starting from, the turn of the century, maybe even a little bit before, but so there's the restored historic stuff. But what makes this museum so incredibly unique is that there's a section of race bikes, like really cool race bikes, bikes that have this grand history and narrative behind them, and then it's got a whole section of custom bikes. Now, museums don't do that. Museums specialize in usually just restored, beautiful, expensive, vehicles, cars and motorcycles, or, I don't know the paint word. I was going to go down an avenue of paintings, but I don't know shit about that, so I'm just going to leave that out. But the cool thing is you get to see these custom bikes that, they're the ones you've seen in magazines and Bikes XF and all those. I don't even know if that's how you pronounce it, but all those really cool online magazines and exposure places. So go check it out. The Land Speed bike didn't run, of course, like everything, the stupid COVID thing screwed up racing for everybody. So I only ran Speed Week and then one event at El Mirage, which I could not start it off the kicker. So if you remember, I made a left-handed thread, 16 millimeter left-handed thread on the crank so I could use an electric starter, but I didn't and I've got an electric starter over there, but I didn't get it together in time. So it just didn't work out and whatever. So we'll hit it again next year. I think the pipe is wrong for it because it's got a big, massive dead spot in the middle. I've got to redo that and figure that thing out. And then, so lately, what we've done is the pistons, the last batch of pistons I made for Alex didn't quite work. Two-stroke stuffing, and I'm sure a lot of you are paying attention to both of these things. So, anyway, so two-stroke stuffing. He got the engine running. The pistons were kind of the failure in that, and that I'll take responsibility for. And I've talked about this in the past, with my pistons, I was getting a problem with where the skirt meets the dome was creating a problem because there is a little bit of movement there. So what I had done before, and I have this in another video, where I designed a spacer that would eliminate the load between the dome and the skirt. So that's what I've done. So we've revised this. A couple of things I've changed. So one is the spacer. So, and of course these parts aren't quite finished. The dome isn't done yet, and of course we don't have a wrist pinhole, and the skirt isn't quite finished on the second op. It's all right, we'll get it done. We'll get it done tomorrow. So one thing I did that I added to this was I extended the threads. And the idea is that I had, I don't know, maybe, was it 4 millimeters of threads? And I added up with 6 millimeters of threads, and I think that will add some stability. There's certainly more load area on that thread, but the best part was the ring. So, if you remember, review, we have this spacer, if you will, O-ring groove here, spacer, ring, dome, and all the skirt now does comes up and holds this spacer in place against a shoulder. So the shoulder, so from the bottom or the top side of the ring groove to the top side of where that spacer is now set by that step. So presumably by my, roughneck, redneck engineering standard, this should keep this as a constant. No matter what the skirt does to the dome, whether it's rocking or moving or whatever it's doing, we don't care, because this will stay the same every time. The only thing it can do is loosen up, which is a possibility. We hope that doesn't happen, but that's the only place it can go. It can't squish. So here's what we've got. So we've got the spacer, right? Nice tight fit. In fact, really tight. That doesn't have the O-ring. That snaps into place. Do you hear that snap? That's a snap of quality. And then the skirt screws on, right? So that holds it in place. Now here's the beautiful thing. Look at this. So here's one of the rings, one of the extra rings. Oh, look at that. 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 You see? You see? You're paying attention, right? Yeah. That's beautiful. This is going to haul ass. That's 30 horsepower right there. So I got to finish the pistons off so we can all see what Alex's new engine is going to do. And then I really need to get my own pistons set up for my own engine. So we need to get those done too. That's about it. I think we've covered all the bases. I've had some machine tool problems. I've had lathe problems. In December I had both lathes broken. Spindle drive in one and really kind of spindle drive in the other, but it was really ended up being a voltage issue. And we got all those sorted out, and I think it's time to get excited. We've got an armor race coming up at, I think, the Streets of Willow in a month and a half. Got to get ready for that. We got to get going on the land speed bike. So it's time to start rocking and rolling. All of you watching this, you need to get motivated on your own race projects. We're going to dump this stupid COVID shit in the trash, and we're moving on with racing, which is important. Right? Okay. Thanks, and we'll talk to you later.